Welcome back, guys, to another video where today we're at a very different track. Now, if you don't recognize this place, basically it's Blue Moon Infield A, I think, I'm pretty sure. There's different configurations, but it's not the full oval, so it's kind of like the road course version. But yeah, today we're racing for the season opener of the International GT Challenge. Now, you're probably wondering, because when I load in, it's going to show like 8 racers. Last race we had like 11 racers, sometimes we even had like 14 drivers. The reason why is because now we have 2 different types of lobbies. We have teams and we have solo drivers, or championships I guess you would say. And I decided to be in the solo championship. Most of the people that you probably recognize from last season are now in the team championship. So it's, I know there's still Sniper, BGR I think is still in this, and some other drivers. But those are the noticeable 2 that you might recognize. Yeah, it was basically a 60-minute endurance race. I may live stream once again, but yeah, hopefully it goes well. So here we are for the start of the race. Now, the funny thing is I was actually getting out of a party chat because it was a team kind of party chat because most of them were in there. So I want to get out of there. I almost missed the start, but luckily with with 4 lights, I was able to get in. But I think we started in 4th position, and Rabbit, you saw, or Sniper, got a huge start there. He's going to be on the outside, we're going to be on the inside. Now this is going to be our first ever time going side by side, and then this happens. And then I don't want to stop there because this also happens. So I was super confused. We don't lose any positions. But if we go back there, so we're going to be on the inside because Sniper goes a little bit wide here. And then I'm going to admit that this was completely my fault because I was not going to make that corner. I just forgot to brake. You see that, I mean, the only reason why we made that corner is because we made contact with Sniper. And then that incident right there, I'll talk a little bit about more. But yeah, that was completely my fault. He goes into the tire. I think he goes to last place because you can see like how just bunched up we are on the start. But that kink, you're gonna see, I feel like there's a lot of incidents, but this incident right here. So here we are, so this guy on our outside. Now we're slowed down of course because we made contact. We're on the curb, we're using up most of the curb. I think we might even be on the grass right now. He makes contact there. And then we just, it looks like I spin him out. I mean, you guys can decide who is at fault there, but I'm pretty sure I held my line there, and then maybe just cuts across of us. I think he might have thought that he was clear or something. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that was basically the lap 1 carnage. And then Dark Lord Apollo misses his braking point. Now we're into 3rd place. So here we are for our first pit stop. Now I started on the medium tires, so I'm going to be going onto the soft tire. It's basically like last season. You want to go medium, soft, and then if you have to go again, you can do softs again. Because it's a hard tire, I do not want to pick that ever, and I think one person might have picked the hard tire in this race. I'm not entirely sure who it was. But as we come into the pits, you get a little bit of a view of our note paint scheme. It's kind of like, if you recognize it, yes, it's based off of the McLaren F1 special livery, and it even has like Oppenheimer on it. So I don't know. I felt like Oppenheimer felt good with the like thing. As we come out of the pits, and we are side by side, not anymore, with Monte Carlos. Now I believe, I'm not entirely sure because he's a new driver, but we're gonna be racing with him. We're on completely new softs. He hasn't pitted yet. So we're just trying to get past here. As you can see that he goes a little wider than us. We're just on completely new softs. Cuts the corner. I think he might have touched the wall there. We get a pretty good exit onto this as a result. And he kind of closes us in. Kind of pinches us on the apex there. We kind of, a little bit of lag there. And then we kind of go racing. We get we get like a 0.5 penalty for that. And then makes contact with us again, but I mean, we ultimately lost not much because like I said before, we're on completely new softs. He's on, I'm pretty sure, old mediums. I'm not sure. I think he might have pit. Not completely sure. Because I knew my mediums were completely dead. And his are, I think he might have pit. But, yeah. But my main goal right now was trying to get completely out front. Maybe like by a second or at least a second. Because when we serve this penalty, we could, like, not lose the position to him. Because after a little bit of touching and banging, I don't want being spun around. Because now later in that lap, we're coming to a lap car. Now, there's quite a few lap cars here, but we still have to serve that penalty. But yeah, like I was saying, there's quite a few lap cars in this race because the lap is a lot shorter. It's around 109 here, but here we come to serve our penalty. So we saw quite a few lap cars. Now, some of them, most of them got out of the way, but you're going to see that that's not always true. So we'll see what happens next. So we are riding on board with someone different. This is Nicky. I'm not entirely sure like what his, I don't remember his username. That's why I don't really like it, because it only shows the nicknames for replays. But this was our main kind of rival or opponent in this race, because I wanted to finish second, kind of. I knew that we were kind of faster than him. We were setting a few fastest laps because he was on the medium tire before us, and I think I knew that he was going to make a one stop, I'm pretty sure. So I believe he goes, we'll see here, as he takes a bunch of fuel, but we ultimately get in front of him. But I think we were like 15 seconds behind him when we pit, and then we, like, I think we're 7 seconds when he ultimately pit. So I knew I was faster than him, so my main goal is trying to undercut him. And he gets behind Monte Carlos here. Yeah, we're in the lead now. We just had to, I knew we were going to make a two-stop. I didn't know exactly because I think this is kind of midway through the race. So I knew he was probably going to make a one-stop, but once again, he's on the soft tires, so I'm not sure entirely how that might work. But I didn't even know about the tires. I thought he was still on the medium tire. So we'll see how well that works. Now, a couple laps later, you're going to see yellow flags here. I was wondering what was happening, and the person, there's actually a lap car in front of us. He spins around. Now, this is how much I love the draft in this car, because if you remember from the Corvette, I absolutely struggled. We ultimately don't really get the draft, but, I mean, he was already pretty slow because he spun around. I think he maybe hit the wall. So, but I thought he slowed down to last pass, but after watching the replay, it actually turns out that he actually crashes. We almost miss apex here. We're still on the soft tire. You see that, look at our rights compared to our left tires here. You see that we are really starting to struggle on those right tires, but the left tires are pretty good, because you see here that there's a lot of left-hand corners, like especially kinks. So it was super important to kind of conserve tires and stuff around this race. It's an incredibly short lap, so yeah. But our main goal was trying to get in front of Nicky. I think we're gonna pit pretty soon here, because I know that my tires are dead, but I think, I'm pretty sure, yeah, my pit, because my main goal, I think we pit on lap with 36 minutes to go, and then I think we split that in half, so we're gonna pit with 18 minutes to go, and I'm pretty sure that's right now. Hey, I was right, because if you do the math, there's, in the bottom left, you can see that full race time, 18 minutes. So this is our last stop of the race, or is it? We'll see. We see Nicky here. He's coming off the final corner here. We do not have to pit for fuel. We just have to pit for tires. But I think after the stop here, we're going to be on pit exit here. And that's not him. There he is. I think that's a lap car that's going to be right in front of us. I thought that was him. But after looking at like the gap, it was actually 7 seconds between them. So that's the same 7 seconds that we gained on him by pitting for soft tires earlier than him, because he actually, I think, held on to the mediums for a while. So in the end, maybe should have pit for softs a little bit earlier. I'm not sure though. I mean, this race was just so all over the place, but yeah, in terms of strategy, it was just, because I didn't race with most of these guys. I mean, Dark Lord Apollo, Sniper, Niati, TCR, I've raced with them, before, but I mean Nicky, Monte Carlos, so it's kind of half and half that I haven't raced with. So it's definitely learning more about their strategies and stuff. So here's my fastest lap of the race here. Now you're gonna see it starts off pretty well, so you have to ride the outside line here. And you have to kind of cave into the inside here. It's a very, very rough transition. You can see here, pretty good. Now sometimes you would oversteer a little bit. Then you got this kink. Multiple wrecks have happened here. We go a little bit wide here, and then you go to the left, go to the right, try to cut a little bit of that inside curb there. And then you kind of want to hug this left line here. You want to go to the right there, kind of brake around 75 meter-ish, and then go to the right, kind of hug that inside curb, and then you want to miss this apex right here, and then kind of turn in here, right around the outside. And in this corner right here, I think you can use a little bit of brake. You don't have to fully like drop down a gear. Try not to hit that outside barrier. I've done that so many times. And then you want to hug that left line again, and then all the way to the line right here. So that's basically the fastest lap that I was able to do. Now I tried, you'll see later in the race, I tried so badly to get another fastest lap, because we're actually, this lap set us 2/10 behind the fastest. So I maybe could have tried a little better, because you can see here that we have a half a tank of fuel, which is pretty big in terms of like creating weight and stuff. Now coming to the end of the race, now I think we have around 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go exactly in this race. So my main goal is, since we're low on fuel, we're like 25% here, we're gonna swap tires, take no fuel. I would actually rather have to take fuel out, because right now I think we have like 8 laps of fuel remaining. So yeah, I would, if there's an option to take out fuel right now, I would probably do that, because right now we're going for the fastest lap of the race, which is a 106.9. Our fastest lap is a 107.1, so we're around 2/10. And I think with less fuel and kind of newer tires, we should be able to beat him. So ultimately, we get in front of Nicky, which I knew was our, just out of everything that I wanted, that's the first thing we want, is to be in front of Nicky, because we only have like 2.5 minutes to go here. We're already going very loose. I even made sure that the brake balance was all the way to the rear, so we could kind of slide into the corners here. So here's our out lap here, and I'll fast forward it to our first lap. So here we are on our first lap. Now I knew that we could probably do 2 laps here, so right now, once again, we ride that kind of outside wall here. I think we might have made a mistake. Yeah, we kind of went a little outside. We missed that apex there. Going on the thing, that was pretty good. But then we go into the cave-in. We cut that corner nicely there, but we have to go all the way to the left. We're already up by 1/10 here. We hit that apex pretty well too. We don't go too wide to go in the grass, but we go ride that inside curb a little bit. We brake around 80 meters there, a little bit more optimistic there, trying to just make sure that we make no mistakes with 2 laps to go here. Then we go on the outside here. We kind of hit that apex on the left. That's probably what screwed us up here. And you can see that we're up by another almost 2/10. That's not good enough. And we miss the apex on the outside. That's what screwed us up. So we're up by 2/10. It wasn't going to be enough from the second sector, but just the final nail in the coffin was definitely that final apex there, as we're 5/10. But we still have 1 more lap, so we ride around the outside. And this lap was probably going to be better, but we ran into some lap traffic here. I think that's Dark Lord Apollo, I'm not entirely sure. But he hugs that inside lane. He's extremely slow on the apex, and then just, yeah, gets in our way. But I mean, I was very, like, I didn't report him for that. I mean, technically he had to get out of the way, but I don't know if he was trying to get out of the way or didn't realize that we were behind him, because that's not the optimal line. As you can see here, final lap of the race, TCR, who's actually almost lapping us. He's actually right behind us, pretty sure, because he's going into the hairpin right now. We're in the kink, so he almost lapped the whole field today, I'm pretty sure. But as we come off the final corner here, I mean, it's just flat out from here. We have enough fuel. We're not going to miss any fuel here. And we finish in P2 for our first race here with, I mean, some other drivers in the team championship. But here's TCR. He's off the final corner here as well. Pretty dominant performance. I mean, we try to disrupt his performance a little bit by trying to get that extra bonus point. But ultimately, in the end, he finishes in P1 in first position. Nicky finishes in P3. That was our main rival in this race. Monte Carlos finishes in 4th. Sniper finishes in 5th. Niati finishes in 6th. Dark Lord Apollo finishes in 7th. And I think Spurs Fan finishes in 8th. So ultimately, for the first race of the season, I know that I think we would have definitely struggled in the team championship, because there's not only did you have drivers from last season, but you also had drivers from like season 5 and season 4 that dominated the season. And from the first race, what I saw, it was kind of chaotic in the first lap, but I mean, it was dominant by one team. So just very interesting. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it, as it was definitely a very interesting season opener. Now, sadly, I won't be able to compete in the next race, and as a result, I won't be able to make a video on it. But I might be able to make, like, pre-upload something, so I premiere it maybe on Saturday around 6:30, and then, of course, make a video next week. But I'm not sure what my plans are for this upcoming days, so we'll see. But I think you guys definitely like these videos, so make sure to just go down below and smash that like button. I've never said that. I never force people to do that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.